Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Jannis. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Living the dream.
Right? Absolutely.
I'm starting to come back down from my little vacation with my loved one, and reality hit like the first day I came back. So,
Oh, I can only imagine because the pictures looked great, and I was a little jealous, but not a lot jealous because Hey, do our intro. We need to, for people who don't know who we are, we need to
good
let
morning.
people know. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Outside the Box 2020 with Miss Jannis Paulk from Clarity Based Marketing, and I'm Dr. John Rothwell, nurse practitioner with Island Direct Primary Care. If
do
you've
that
been here
so
for the
good.
first time, if this is your first time, there's a comment box, right?
Yes,
Where they
there
can actually
is.
ask questions. And so ask us your questions. We may or may not be able to get to them today. But once Jannis posts it on Facebook and the recording, then I'll go back and review and answer your questions. So welcome, everybody.
And we actually, on that note, you do that so well. I'm so proud of you. I need you to do that for me, like on all my interviews, all my shows, all my everything, because that's what I'm doing now. More and more and more, I'm doing podcasts and videos.
Yes.
But yeah, it's great. I love it. It's so much fun. I get to talk to interesting people like you, so it's great. But so we go live. Just for clarity here, we go live on my personal profile, my business profile on Facebook, and then we also are streaming live on YouTube right now. Did you know that?
I didn't. YouTube,
yes,
huh?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
We are streaming live on YouTube right now. So we have a YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel for the Outside the Box series. And so if you go to YouTube and search Outside the Box 2020, you can find that YouTube channel and see all the videos that you and I have ever done. How about that?
Awesome. And I can link my YouTube channel to that too, right?
Yes, you can. You can do a playlist and just select them all and plug them right into your YouTube channel for your playlist. Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
All right. So on to our subject. So what we're going to do is I asked and you agreed. So one of the health subjects that you don't really do a whole lot of, or you don't hear a lot of real talk on is men's health. And so because, all right, so I'm going to be nice about this because, there are big jokes all the time. And like, I'm not really into disparaging people by gender or anything like that. It's not my thing. But, there's always jokes about men and their health and how they don't handle being sick very well and things like that. I'll just kind of leave that out there. Just, leave that there.
You said you weren't going to address it, and then all of a sudden you just hit on everything but saying we have the man flu.
I did not say that. If you feel the need to say that, then you say that, but I didn't say it. But, okay, that being said, we'll just say that men, unless they're sick like that, they like to pretend they're not sick. And they like to avoid. I mean, I avoid too, and that's why I say, I'm really joking. I'm not a big fan of gender bashing for anything. That's not my deal. But we all do that. We avoid health subjects. We avoid going to the doctor, and especially the older I get, the more I do that. As you well know, you have to deal with me, and so there are a lot of subjects in men's health that get ignored. They don't get talked about because they would prefer to ignore them. So we're just going to rip that can of worms wide open and talk about men's health. So the floor is yours, sir.
Oh, the floor is mine. It's interesting. Yeah. So in my practice, most of my new memberships actually start off with women. And
okay.
They come here, they see me, once or twice, 3 times, maybe even half a year. Even recently I've had a couple patients that have been with me for 2 years, and now recently their husbands are joining on board. And but I always get that question, like, I really need to get my husband to come see you. How do I do that? I said, that's easy. just tell them I take care of blood pressures and boners, and that'll get them here, right? And
Right, because those are the two things, right?
two things.
Yeah.
Guys don't like, when their blood pressure gets up, they feel it. They don't feel very good. They get headaches. They feel tired and run down. And then when it comes to the other part of their life, if that part's not working, that affects a whole lot of things, right?
Yeah.
And so, so I say it seriously but kiddingly that, you want to get your significant other in here, tell them I take care of blood pressures and boners, and usually I can get the first appointment pretty easy. All
right, so we can only talk about one of those today. Which one are we going to talk about?
So let's do a lead into hypertension, right? Because so heart disease is the number one killer, okay, for all, for
everybody.
And
is that right?
Cancer's number two, yeah. And
for everybody, male or female. Okay.
And so when we get into men's health, or hypertension, over 50% of people actually have hypertension, and many of those people actually go untreated, right?
50%.
Yeah, nearly half of adults in the United States, so that's 116, 120 million people actually have hypertension, which is defined by blood pressure of 130 over 80 now, because they kind of changed the numbers. It used to be 140 over 90. Now they are saying 130 over 80. It's kind of like that's kind of like the mark. And so with out of that 50%, so basically 1 in 4 adults with hypertension actually have it under control, which means 75% of people actually don't have their blood pressure under control. Okay. And so most of these are men.
So let me ask you a question about that. So is it a higher percentage of men who have high blood pressure, or is it about the same?
So, I mean, look, numbers are numbers. So it's roughly 50+% of men compared to, in the low 40 percentile of women.
Okay.
But it's men who aren't going to their primary care and do the things they need to control their blood pressure. And so we often hear of hypertension being the silent killer in men. And that's because what happens is men are kind of dealing with their daily activities, their daily life. They don't want to go see the doctor. I have white coat syndrome, which is a real thing. That's basically when people go to the doctor's office, their blood pressure becomes elevated, and you don't want to necessarily treat a false positive, if you will. Some people just get nervous when they go to doctors, but when they go home, their blood, they settle right back in. They just get nervous around the doctor. I don't know if it has to do with the glove thing or what, but guys just, they get that state of panic. So like at Island Direct Primary Care, we always send our patients home with a 2-week journal to document their blood pressure while they're gone, so we can get a real outlook, and then we can start really talking about lifestyle changes versus automatically putting people on some kind of pharmacology therapy for their blood pressure if it's not needed. But at the end of the day, sometimes it is needed, and it just really depends on what's causing the high blood pressure. We live in a very stressful environment right now with the pandemic. People are not used to working at home. People aren't used to leading people at home. So the expectations on how to work and how to set new expectations while people are at work, and and how to measure and execute what's needed at companies, there's a lot of added stress. And so it wouldn't surprise me at all.
We lost our live. We lost our live stream, so we are no longer live. Yeah, it says we're live, but I just got a error notice that says we are not live on Facebook.
Recording? Are we recording?
No.
We're not recording?
Well, I mean, we're recording on YouTube.
Okay, well, then let's roll.
Just keep on rolling?
Keep on rolling.
That's fine.
So hypertension is that silent killer, because it's very difficult necessarily, unless it gets really high. You don't necessarily feel this constant 140 over 90, this 150 over 90.
Right.
And so as that pressure continues to be there, the arteries tend to, it's like a water pipe or a water hose in your vehicle. Over time, those hoses become stiffened, which means you need to put more pressure in order to get the fluid through those hoses. Your body's the same way. And so you have this constant elevation of blood pressure, and so you want to be able to control that. And so we do that by using medications that actually relax the smooth muscles around the arteries so that we can better manage the blood pressure. But there's a lot of other ways to do it, and that is through nutrition and through increased movement. And so if we catch it early enough and we address it early enough, we have other options that we can do before using medications. What happens when the arteries become stiff?
Yeah.
You're more likely to have a blockage, right? Because you don't have things moving through your system. And so when you have a blockage in your coronary arteries in your heart, you end up with a heart attack because you're not getting any oxygen there. Or you end up with a stroke because you end up having a blockage in, one of your arteries going up to your brain. And so these kind of things are not good. And so that happens from the stiffening of arteries. So manage the blood pressure, you end up managing a whole lot of other things. And to use my life as an example, I was on blood pressure medication for about 5 years in my 30s. And so it took a whole lot of lifestyle change in order to get off those blood pressure medications. So my blood pressure sits somewhere around 116 over 75 without any medications. And
really?
Yeah. And but I don't consume alcohol. I watch my diet. I don't eat soda. My biggest vice is my coffee, as you know.
Right.
But my team here has me stopping my caffeine intake at noon these days. So
that's good. That's very good.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's talk for a second about the effect of alcohol on your blood pressure. Can we do that?
Yep, real quick. Mm-hmm.
Couple minutes. Okay,
yep.
That's fine. So so we'll close with that. The effect of alcohol on your blood pressure.
Okay, 1 second.
Sure.
Okay. Chris, if you could go ahead and get him. Yeah, he's in a Ram truck, and just go into the examination room and just tell him I'll be right off.
That was a very loud door.
Yeah, I know, right? It's, we're always right on time here. And so when people come 15, 20 minutes early, because they're used to doing that, they're at their doctor's office and then waiting for 20, 30, 40 minutes. And so here we try not to do that. So, so alcohol isn't a 2-minute subject.
Okay. Well, so we can talk about that next week.
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, the effects of alcohol on your blood pressure. I'd like to save that for its own.
Okay, segment. Let's do that. Let's do that next week. How about that? Because this is a big subject, like you said. You have 2 primary subjects for men, and this is one of them. And most men over a certain age that I know have blood pressure challenges. Don't you wrinkle your forehead when I say that. Men of a certain age.
I had a birthday this week, so
did you? I don't think I knew that. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday. Darn it, you made me forget what I was going to say. Oh, if you're just jumping in, you're just watching us, we are live dropped on my personal profile, but we streamed on Clarity Based Marketing Business Facebook page and on Outside the Box 2020 on YouTube. So the entire segment talking about men's health and blood pressure specifically this week is on both of those. Clarity-Based Marketing on Facebook, and Outside the Box on YouTube. And so we're going to let Dr. John go because he's got patients to take care of. And we're going to extend this conversation next week, same time, same place. Yes?
Yeah, so it's normally 11:30. So today I had to switch it to
Correct.
11. So
Yeah.
let's try to keep it at 11:30, and
Okay.
and then I'll just kind of keep you aware. Right now, things are just going crazy. There's still a lot of people, need the flexibility because of work and seeing. So I'll try to be flexible with my time for my patients, but at the same time, giving time to you and the community, it brings me great joy. And so, I always want to try to do that whenever we can. So
I appreciate it so much. And this is a great, great subject. Men's health is something that I don't think gets talked about enough, really. But who's asking me what I think? I don't know.
Right. Awesome.
Bye.
We'll talk
Have
to
a
you later.
great day. Thank you. Bye, everybody.